staying alive. It's a fundamental instinct, a drive that is deeply embedded in our very being. From the moment we take our first breath, we are thrust into a world where survival becomes our primary goal. But what does it truly mean to survive? Is it merely the act of staying alive, or is there more to it? It's something we're all born to do. From the cries of a newborn baby to the hustle and bustle of people navigating through a busy street, survival is an inherent part of our existence. It's a testament to our resilience and our ability to adapt to the ever-changing circumstances around us. It shows how tough we are. Whether it's an athlete pushing through a grueling workout or a mountain climber reaching the summit after a challenging ascent, these moments highlight our strength and determination. They remind us that we are capable of overcoming obstacles and achieving greatness even in the face of adversity. We admire people who make it through tough times, the marathon runner who crosses the finish line after miles of relentless effort, the soldier who returns home to the warm embrace of loved ones after enduring the hardships of war. These stories inspire us. They show us the power of perseverance and the human spirit's ability to triumph over challenges. Their stories grab our attention. We are drawn to tales of survival, captivated by the experiences of those who have faced and conquered their fears. These narratives resonate with us because they reflect our own struggles and victories, reminding us that we are not alone in our journey. They remind us how strong people can be. The weightlifter straining to lift a heavy barbell, the rescue worker risking their life to save someone in danger. These acts of bravery and strength serve as powerful reminders of the incredible capabilities within each of us. They inspire us to push our limits and strive for greatness. But surviving can be tricky. It's not always about physical strength or heroic acts. Sometimes survival means navigating through confusion and uncertainty, like being lost in a dense forest or carrying a heavy burden on our shoulders. It's about finding our way when the path ahead is unclear and the weight of our struggles feels overwhelming. It can leave scars you can't see. The emotional toll of survival can be profound, leaving invisible scars that linger long after the physical wounds have healed. Looking at old photographs, we may be reminded of the pain and loss we've endured, the moments that have shaped us and left an indelible mark on our hearts. It can weigh us down. The burden of survival can be heavy, causing us to walk through life with slumped shoulders and a sense of isolation. Sitting alone on a park bench, we may feel the weight of our experiences pressing down on us, making it difficult to move forward. This is what we call survivor's guilt. It's a complex and often misunderstood emotion, a feeling of guilt that arises when we survive a traumatic event while others do not. Sitting with our head in our hands or staring blankly out a window, we may be haunted by questions of why we were spared and what we could have done differently. Learning to live after something bad happens is a tricky thing. It's a process that requires time, patience, and support. Walking through an empty house, we may feel the absence of those we've lost, but in a support group meeting, we find solace in the shared experiences of others who understand our pain. It's about understanding, acknowledging our emotions, and allowing ourselves to grieve is an essential part of the healing process. Whether it's through the tears that well up in our eyes or the words we write in a journal, expressing our feelings helps us come to terms with our experiences and begin to heal. It's about remembering what we lost, holding a keepsake or lighting a candle in remembrance. We honor the memories of those who are no longer with us. These acts of remembrance help us keep their spirit alive and find meaning in our own survival. And it's about finding a way to live a good life, even when a part of us feels we shouldn't. Planting a garden or hugging a friend, we take steps towards rebuilding our lives and finding joy in the present moment. It's about embracing the future while acknowledging the past and allowing ourselves to experience happiness despite the lingering pain. This video looks at survivor's guilt, explaining what it is and how we can feel better. Through understanding and support, we can learn to navigate the complexities of survivor's guilt and find a path towards healing and hope. Imagine living through something terrible, something that shakes you to your core and leaves an indelible mark on your soul. Maybe a natural disaster, a scary accident, or a violent fight. You're alive. Others aren't. The chaos around you has settled, but inside a storm is brewing. This can be really hard to understand. The mind struggles to make sense of the randomness of survival. It can make you feel all sorts of things. Emotions you never knew existed, a mix of relief and sorrow, gratitude and guilt. This is where survivor's guilt starts. It's a complex emotion that can weigh heavily on your heart and mind. Survivor's guilt is a heavy feeling. It's like carrying an invisible burden that no one else can see. It's feeling uneasy, responsible, wondering why you lived when others didn't. It's questioning every decision, every moment that led to your survival. It's that little voice that says, "Why them and not me?" A voice that echoes in the quiet moments, making you doubt your worth. It's normal to feel this way after something bad happens. You're not alone in this struggle. Many have walked this path before you, but it can make you feel very alone. The weight of survival can be isolating, but reaching out for help can lighten the load. To understand survivor's guilt, we need to delve deep into the human psyche and explore the intricate workings of our minds. This phenomenon is not just a fleeting feeling, but a complex emotional response that can have long-lasting effects on an individual's mental health. Our brains are wired to seek fairness and justice in the world around us. When we experience or witness something traumatic, especially when it involves the loss of others, our sense of fairness is deeply challenged. This innate sense of fairness is evident from a young age. We see it in children sharing toys or adults engaging in acts of kindness. It's a fundamental part of our social fabric. However, when something tragic happens without a clear reason, it disrupts our understanding of the world. We begin to question the randomness of events and why certain things happen to certain people. This struggle to comprehend the unfairness can lead to a deep sense of confusion and distress. We find ourselves lost in a maze of emotions, trying to make sense of the senseless. Guilt, in its many forms, is a powerful emotion. It can manifest as a physical pain, a heavy weight on our chest, or an overwhelming sense of sorrow. Typically, we associate guilt with having done something wrong. It's a natural response to our actions that may have hurt others, prompting us to seek forgiveness or make amends. But with survivor's guilt, the situation is different. You haven't done anything wrong, yet you are plagued by the feeling that you should have been the one to suffer or perish instead of others. This misplaced guilt can be incredibly debilitating. This overwhelming guilt can lead to feelings of shame, self-doubt, and a diminished sense of self-worth. You may start to believe that you are not deserving of happiness, or that your life holds less value. In extreme cases, survivors might resort to self-destructive behaviors as a way to cope with their emotions. They might engage in self-harm, substance abuse, or other harmful activities as a form of self-punishment. The burden of survivor's guilt can be so heavy that it overshadows any moments of joy or happiness. Survivors may isolate themselves, feeling unworthy of the love and support of others, and believing that they don't deserve to move on or find peace. Getting over survivor's guilt doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey. It's like going through different stages. These stages aren't the same for everyone, but they help us understand the feelings that come with surviving. The first stage is usually shock and denial. The survivor can't believe what happened. Then comes anger and frustration. Why me? Why them? Then comes bargaining, trying to imagine things had gone differently. Depression can follow, a deep sadness, and finally, acceptance. Not forgetting, but learning to live with what happened. Section 5. Finding comfort with others. One of the best ways to deal with survivor's guilt is to connect with others. Talking about what happened, sharing your pain, can really help. Support groups, talking to a therapist, and close friends and family can give you a safe place to talk. Knowing you're not alone, that others have gone through similar things, can be really comforting. It helps you understand that your feelings are normal, that you're not losing your mind. Section 6. Turning pain into action. Some survivors find healing by turning their pain into action. They help others who have gone through similar trauma. They raise awareness, fight for justice, and work hard to stop future tragedies. This change from survivor to advocate can be really powerful. It lets people take control of their stories, find meaning in what happened, and use their pain to do good. It shows how strong people can be and how they can find good things even in dark times. Section 7. How different cultures see survival and guilt. It's important to remember that different cultures see survival and guilt in different ways. Some cultures focus on being strong and not showing emotions. Others encourage people to share their grief. These cultural differences can affect how people experience and deal with survivors' guilt. Understanding these differences is important for helping survivors. It's about making sure people feel seen, heard, and understood in their own culture. Section 8. The long road to acceptance. Acceptance isn't about forgetting or pretending the trauma didn't happen. It's about making it part of your life story. It's about understanding the pain while also seeing your own strength. It's about remembering what you lost while also appreciating that you're alive. It's about letting yourself feel joy and love without guilt. It's about knowing you deserve to heal and that your story, even though it's painful, can inspire others. Section 9. From Surviving to Thriving. A story of hope. Learning to live after something bad happens is about turning guilt into thankfulness, pain into purpose, and loss into hope. It's about living in the present, taking care of yourself, and being kind to yourself and others. Your story is important. Your survival shows how strong people can be. And your journey, even with its challenges, can give others hope during hard times.